How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Y'all feel me? Y'all feel me? We about to get this rolling. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I got 25K hoes all on me. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I got 25K hoes all on me. Back then. Back then. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot, hoes all on me. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot, hoes all on me. 25K, oh, 25K, ho. Actually, it's not 25K. It's almost 25K. And no, I know that's not that many people, but it's pretty good for 2.5 years or whatever, right? Of doing videos. It's not bad. Ain't bad. Ain't bad, damn. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot, hoes all on me. 25K. 401K. My 401K is my 25K. Ow! Ow! I'm the captain of this love boat, baby. I am enjoying this Mike Jones, though. Mike Jones slowed down, chopped and screwed. Oh. Welcome. We just got a little fun tonight. John Goris, thank you. $5. J Dyer's the hot sauce in Hillary's purse. I'm the hot sauce in Hillary's purse. Call the doctor, because you're going to need a hearse. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to do a little recounting of the history of things, how we got here. Thank you for Joshua Shepard for the congrats. It was a long road. 12 years of blogging or so. Something like that. And 25K is a milestone. I mean, it's nothing to sneer at. I think that first 25K is the real hill you got to climb, and then I think it's gonna be hype from then on. Growth exponential. Growth exponential. I will never stop being goofy. You can't breed the goof out of me. You can't genetically engineer the goof out of me. Goof to the soul, baby. Still tipping. Still tripping. I should do like just a freestyle rap. That would be hilarious. Just a show of raps. Captain J. I'm the captain of this love boat, like Gavin McLeod. I'm the captain of this love boat, like Gavin McLeod. Last night, yo mama got loud. Oh! Anyway, we are going to talk about Revenge of the Nerds. Yep, 25K today. Tomorrow, the world. 25K today. Tomorrow, 401K when I hit boomer status. That beat is fire. You know what I did? I chopped and screwed Mike Jones. No, I just slowed it down. Actually, that sounds hype slowed down, doesn't it? That's almost as good as when I slowed down Knight Rider. That was hype. But we just having fun right now. Lamb.mugwort, $2. Becoming Orthodox. Awesome, man. God bless. Glad to hear that. I'm getting so many messages about people converting to Orthodoxy. That's great. Praise God. That's great. So, how did we get here? Well, I got the idea to blog. I thought it would be fun. I would listen to Alex Jones a lot. Folks, it is unbelievable what is happening right now. The globalists are insane. And I thought, you know what? If Alex can do it, I can do it. So I'm going to have a blog. I'm going to try to do this kind of stuff. And then I tried to do this kind of Tea Party Patriot type crap. And I grew out of that. Right? You know, that's when you're 21, 22, you can be a libertarian. You guys like the Jordan Peterson? Thank you. Used to be pagan atheist, but became Orthodox. Awesome. Comedy is pretty good. Thank you. There's actually quite a few comedy videos, and we've been doing that since the beginning. The first video I ever uploaded was comedy video. I'm sure it's terrible, although I watched a couple of the 10 years ago videos I did, and there was some funny stuff there. You don't like my comedy? I think it's great. You know, sometimes I just like to sit back and listen to Mike Jones. Because there was a day before I plumbed the depths of my psyche and found my inner thug, as Dr. Jordan Peterson, or Dr. J in my street lingo. Before I found my inner thug, listening to Mike Jones, I had a conversion experience. You, my friend, are a radical ideologue. That's not what it's about. If you're from Canada, you say about. You don't say about, you say about. I love Tony Clifton. I always wanted to be Andy Kaufman. So when I used to do stand-up, Andy Kaufman was my model. I might just do this fat Mike Jones beat, P-H-A-T, the whole time. Some woman bitched at me this week, wrote me a long-ass email saying, how dare you use the slur P-H-A-T. The slur P-H-A-T? And yes, it was a boomer. Boomers just don't get satire. They're like the left. They don't get memes. They don't get, jokes. I said fat P-H-A-T Jinkos, right? Like that Onion article. I said fat Jinkos are coming back in style from the Juggalo. The Juggalo's bringing them back. And that boomer bitched me out saying, you are using non-fat acceptance slurs. And I just cracked up, dude. I was like, that's classic. And there are boomer justice warriors, by the way. There is quite a few, actually. Quite a few boomer justice warriors. It's not a phenomenon that's unique to millennials and Generation zany. Generation zany. Let's go fat with Mike Jones again. Do you guys like my Jordan Peterson finding his inner thug? Was that any good? Do the Kermit voice, please. No, you're a radical ideologue. It actually hurts my jaw to do the Jordan Peterson. I don't know why. I got my inner thug. Jordan Peterson, not a bug. Man, better take a stand. Clean your room. Don't take a shroom. Get it nice and free from dust. Don't even leave pizza crust. Jordan Peterson can rap to Mike Jones. Alright, I lost it on that one. I did have the idea to do a Jordan Peterson Alex Jones skit. That is on the list. I got like a giant list of sketch comedy skits to do. And by the way, I will be speaking in LA 2 engagements. I'll be speaking at Mercado Sagrado. Mercado Sagrado is a large festival in LA. I think 3,000 to 5,000 people attend over the weekend of October 13th and 14th. I will be sweet speaking, dog. Sweet speaking. I will be sweet speaking with my lisps. Now the National Acceptance of Lisps Council is going to come after me. I will be sweet speaking with all my lips. No, Eric Jewell, it's 24,980, I think. So we're trying to, step it up, get it going, to hit it. Oh, come on now, my Jordan Peterson rap, that was fucking funny. And this is all improv, dude, it's all improv. Anyway, so I'll be speaking at that event, which will be a lot of fun. Yeah, I do need to work on a Mike Cernovich impersonation. But so I'll be speaking at Mercado Sagrado. And the topic will be Laurel Canyon, social engineering, Hollywood. Because this, I think, takes place around Topanga Canyon. I always say it wrong. And that's by the way, where Cheryl and David Lynch live, by the way. Supposedly. Maybe Laura Palmer will show up to Mercado Sagrado. She lives in the area. But I will be speaking of that. So if you're in the LA, in the La area, I will be at that event, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be my goofy self, and then same weekend in studio with Sam Tripoli. That's right. Friday, I will be in studio at the All Things Comedy Studios. Honored. At least that's what we think is going to happen. That's kind of what we talked about. I'll let you guys know if there's any changes of plans. Yeah, it's going to be a fun speech. It's going to be philosophy, social engineering at Mercado Sagrado. That's kind of like an arts creative festival. People go and sell their wares, their goods at the Paramount Ranch, I think. Paramount Studios owned a ranch, and now it's the property of the state, I think. So I will be at that, and then also on the Tinfoil Hat Cast with Sam Tripoli in studio. And that's really cool because that's Bill Burr's and a bunch of other comics studios, the All Things Comedy Studio, where they basically just do a whole bunch of podcasts and comedy shows out of there. You can find the YouTube channel. So that'll be a lot of fun, and that's where Sam does his show. Again, very popular comedian podcast. What's what called? Mercado Sagrado is what the festival is. Mercado Sagrado. And then Sam's podcast is Tinfoil Hat Cast, which I was just on about a week ago. What is ending called? I don't know. What do you mean, Evan? What is ending called? Program needs woo, some hooting and hollering. Jay's Analysis Nerds. We got 113 nerds. You know, at one time there was only 113 nerd subscribers to Jay's Analysis, and now there's 25,000. And of course, like all of that is in the last year and a half, because that's when I started doing videos. So, yeah. What do we think? I think at this rate, we could hit 50 by 8 months at worst. A year at worst. I think we can do it. Part of that depends on, what kind of videos I make this next year and what kind of gigs we get. But so anyway, so that's what's coming up. That's going to be a lot of fun, and I don't know. It's just I didn't think that it would be a situation where I get to do this full time so quick. So I'm gonna give some shout outs, some props to peeps along the way that have been cool, hooked us up. Give a shout out to my people. Let me give a shout out to my people. First of all, I want to thank Mark Hackard, Daniel Spalding, Soul of the East. What's up, Soul of the East crew? My boys out of Soat. Soat side, south, east side, Soul of the East side. My homeboys. Started blogging with Mark a couple years ago. That took things to the next level. Started doing audios around then pretty consistently. Actually, that was about 4 or 5 years ago when I met Mark. And met Patrick Henningsen. That was cool. Hung out with Patrick in Phoenix 3 years ago. And met a lot of really cool journalists. Met a lot of people in alternative media through Patrick. Worked out good. Got to give props to Sean Stone. Got to go on Buzzsaw. Buzzsaw opened up a lot of doors. Buzzsaw opened up the possibility of the book Esoteric Hollywood, which you can get signed copies at Jay's Analysis if you don't have one. I spent all day today, by the way, like 12 hours working on part 2. So I'm still just laboring every day to try to get this book done. And it's a hassle. I'm going to be really glad when it's done because this one has taken so much longer than the first one. The first one was relatively easy, and I really want to make, your sophomore thing, you got to it's got to be good because you can get away with some stuff on your freshman outing. But then it's people are like, this is, part 2 better be better. So I got to work hard, make it good, Let's get another instrumental. I like these rap instrumentals slowed down. What's another good? Let's see. Let's do something stupid. This is celebration night. Jay's Analysis Nerds celebrating. Let's do 50 Cent in the Club instrumental. In the club. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, it's a stupid ad. I gotta go here. We do stream of consciousness here. Everything is free, flowing. Go, 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 go. Hey, shawty, it's your birthday. 25K. My show, my flow brought me all the dough. Moving too, by the way. Finally moving out of this. What did Robert Taylor say? My mom's basement. Finally moving out of my mom's basement, according to Robert Taylor. Got a pretty sweet place I'm moving to now. Still just an apartment. I'm not millionaire extreme. So before somebody starts writing an expose of how I'm secretly ripping everyone off and have zillions of dollars, no. I will never be as cool as Robert Taylor. Right. No matter how many Bitcoins I stash, my Bitcoin mojo will never match his. Robert doesn't do a schlong size contest. He does a Bitcoin size. Like, how big's your Bitcoin? Are you long in the Bitcoin? Are you stacking binary digits? Robert doesn't stack paper. He stacks blockchain. Oh yeah, I am also Ted Turner's grandson. That's right. So I could ask for a little more money for a new apartment. $2 million worth of books. Yeah, these books were $2 million. Can you imagine how many books you could buy with $2 million? Good grief. You could never read all those. This one, by the way, this stream goes out to the haters. This is dedicated to haters. For example, when I had 5,000 subscribers, the guy who said, "You're done. You're done. You've peaked. No more. He said you're a wannabe Alex Jones, and you'll never get more than 5,000 subscribers. That was 2 years ago. I thought that was funny. Number one, this ain't nothing like Alex Jones. Well, maybe a little bit. Alex Jones, somebody said I was intellectual Alex Jones. And then some chick said I was low energy, very low energy Alex Jones. I don't think these streams are low energy. They're pretty hype. Looking portly? I don't look portly. I look fucking svelte, dude. Look at that. Ain't no portly up in here. Maybe port, starboard port, if that's what you mean. Portly. J. Dyer is Bill Hicks. J. Dyer, all the nerds sold out. I sold out to Disney. I'm gonna get a Disney show now, like Hannah Montana. Except instead of Hannah Montana, it'll be Boomer Montana, and I'll be me, but then my alternate personality is a boomer. That would actually be kind of funny. It might work. Yeah, I don't know boats. I wasn't in the Navy, so I don't know boats. I know Boat of Car. That's They Might Be Giants song. Boats and hoes. Boats and hoes. Yeah, that's what's next, is to save up all the Jay's Analysis revenue, so I'm gonna save up all these super chats and buy a yacht with Lil Yachty. Lil Yachty, my boy. What's up, Lil Yachty, my boy out there? How you doing? Lil Yachty, Big Barge, Princess Nausea, Lil Queasy. That's my rap crew. Boomer Montana. Yup. That would be funny, dude. I guess. Maybe it would. I don't know. So, shout out to, who else did we give shout outs to? Thank you to Chris at Trine Day for publishing Esoteric Hollywood. Shout out, shout out, shout out. What is this garbage? Get out of here. I like the Mike Jones better. We gotta stay with that. Still tripping. Anyway. Thank you to Jay's Analysis subscribers. You guys make it possible. You guys are great. It amazes me how dedicated you guys are. I get people send me gifts in the mail. It's pretty awesome. I'm very, very thankful. Very, very blessed. God has blessed me very much. And I am truly, genuinely thankful. My life quality has improved tremendously since doing this full time. And it was a lot of work. A lot of work. When you're your own boss, you work more than when you worked as a wage slave for somebody else. So, I kind of look like a village person. I don't know, this is kind of gay. Maybe I need to rethink this outfit, because I was going for festive Florida party boomer, and I kind of look like backup village person. YMCA. Let's do that. Let's do the backup. Let's see. Village people. Slow down. Village people. YMCA instrumental. Let's see what that sounds like. Slow down. It'll be funny. Bum, bum. You've been binging my videos. Thanks, babe. I love you too, Kokichi. Do I accept pies? Pies from subscribers? Or is that a squished lemon? Looks like a squished lemon. No, I don't accept no squished lemons. You appreciate the philosophy and the theology. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys. Not just the Jay's Analysis YouTube subscribers, but also the almost 13,000 blog subscribers, public ones. I'm not saying paid subscribers. I'm not going to say how many paid subscribers I have. The public blog subscribers is almost 13,000. Thank you. And we got, smaller numbers on Facebook and, 6,000 on Twitter, but very happy with the rapid YouTube growth. Now somebody's going to clip this and say I'm a complete you-know-what person. I'm just kidding. It's just jokes. It's just bants. It's just jokes. Y'all take me so serious. Is it a boomer stream? Kinda. That's kind of what I was going for. Florida boomer, but then I decided I looked more like a damn village person. So I didn't really achieve what I was going for. That's a little too gay. I'm gonna have to go back to Mike Jones, a little more manly with Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Jay's analysis. Who? Jay's analysis. Who? Jay's analysis. Who? YouTube growth. Dr. J. Dr. JBP. Anyway, shout outs. Who else did we forget? Shout outs. Shout outs to my friend TP. Sharing my stuff on Twitter. Thank you, all you Twitter peeps. Sharing them things. Shout out to Andy Worski, having me as co-host for a month. A lot of fun. Shout out for the debates. The debates took things to a new level, definitely. Shout out Jay Weidner, for co-creating Hollywood Decoded. That took things to a new level. That was awesome. Who else? Shout outs to Jamie, girlfriend, fiance. Thank you, Jamie. She's helped me out a lot, done a lot of work on the side, sharing and promoting Jay's analysis stuff. Appreciate that. Who else we give a shout out to? We give a shout out. Shout out to Ian Crane, inviting me to Alternative View in the UK. Got to speak at Alternative View a few months ago. That was a lot of fun. Big trip out of the US. First time out of North America. Canada and Mexico. Do they count? I don't know. Not really. Kinda. Canada's all soy goys. Not really. I'm kidding. A lot of cool people from Canada. Dr. Jordan Peterson's from Canada. Mike Jones, the rapper's from Canada. Not really. I'm just joking. The Quantum Kitten. Congrats on 25K. Can we hear a bit of Tex Mars? Well, friends, of course you can. Why? I've got Tex Mars books laying around. There's Hillary. Why? Big Sister is watching you. Friends, did you know that Hillary once went into space on a large craft shaped like a broom? Is this the Illuminati saying Hillary's a witch? Why, friends, Larry Nichols says Hillary's a witch. The first time I seen Hillary was 1973, and she was shoving babies inside of a carcass of a pumpkin. So there's Tex and Larry Nichols together. How's that? Tex Peterson. Everybody loves the Larry Nichols. Yeah. Funny that Mars wrote a Hillary book. That's funny. Like a long time ago. All right, we gotta have a new rap song that's slowed down. I don't like that. Popping my collar. That's all right. Memphis rap. That's good. Let's get degenerate with the Memphis rap, because I come out of Tennessee, y'all. So Juicy J, popping my collar. And since we're being festive, we can have fun. We can pop our collar tonight. Ever since I can remember, I've been popping my collar. If I don't button it, they'll say, button it up. Did you notice, by the way, Styx? Styx had a pretty sweet Boomer shirt this last couple weeks. Started noticing some other YouTubers wearing some pretty boomtastic outfits. By the way, I am the godfather of the Boomer meme. That's another thing we can take credit for, celebrate. I did create the Boomer meme. I'm the godfather of it. Recognized by many other internet authorities, and the Internet Authority Agency.com has given me the official title of godfather of Boomer posting. Evan Schultz, $8. Thank you, Evan. Why have I made everybody else on the internet boring? Nah, not everybody else boring. A lot of cool people. A lot of great shows that helped me out, did interviews. Thank you, James Corbett, did interview. We did a great interview early on. Some bigger shows that had me on. Henrik had me on. Got a lot of subscribers. That helped. Trying to think of early on. You know, it's like 2 or 3 years ago. Seems like freaking 80 years ago. Like, it seems like, I mean, it wasn't that long ago. And all this stuff has happened in the last 2.5 years. It's crazy. A lot of haters too. Oh, this was dedicated to the haters too. You gotta start getting a little bit of an audience. And again, we're just having fun. Okay, we're satirizing ourselves here. Okay, we know that 25,000 is not that big of a deal, but we're having fun with it, right? But even when you get to 25 or more, you know, Jay's analysis outlets are reaching about, I don't know, 300,000 to 500,000 a month. On average, you start getting really angry creepers, right? So we've had a few creepers that we had to deal with who need to learn to go do your own thing, dude. Stop spending your life focusing on me. It's very weird. It's very creepy. So, but you get creepers. You get people every day angry at you. Every day, people dissing you. So I really appreciate you guys being so sweet. You guys are so sweet to me. I just love y'all. Y'all are just like molasses dripping down my chin. I love it. I just love it. Y'all are my little molasses drip. My little molasses drip. Oh, I just love y'all so much. Popping my collar. Popping my collar. Stay fly. Stay fly. Gotta stay fly, y'all. Ever since I can remember, I've been popping my collar. Stay fly. We staying fly. Fly paper. Catching hoes like fly paper. That Memphis rap, baby. That Memphis rap. Because I'm from Tennessee, dog. Anyway. Thank you again. Oh, Daniel Sulea. Sorry I missed that. What's good for the goose is good for the goyim. What's good for the goose is good for the goyim. By the way, I am going to post my... I came up with a funny video while I was driving. It's Toby Keith singing every song. I love Toby Keith so much. He's the greatest musician ever. Okay, I'm joking, obviously, but I can't stand Toby Keith. So I sang like every song as Toby Keith while I was driving, and it came out pretty funny. So pretty good improv. I'll give it A- improv. So I'll post that for you guys pretty soon. It's pretty funny, but. Anyway. Party, party, party. Welcome to the party. We still got to talk about Revenge of the Nerds, but we're having fun. We're having fun. keep pulling up like 24-bit quality. That ain't no good. Can't even hear it. Here we go. There we go. The interviews are the best. The only ones where the interview has actual thought-out questions, not just go ahead, Jay, talk. There have been some good interviews. Yeah, that's good. Clyde Lewis is good at interviews. Clyde's a great radio voice. Oh, can't forget Clyde. Thank you, Clyde, for having me on multiple times to Ground Zero. Great show. Clyde Lewis. Coast to Coast, that was a big marker milestone. Last year and then this year, going on Coast to Coast and going on George Norrie's TV show. That was a lot of fun. That was cool. Oh, yeah. Now I'm hot hoes all on me. Tim Kelly, yes, got to thank Tim for all of the interviews. A whole archive of information there. A lot of people love those. Shout out Tim Kelly. Do EF impersonation. We have the Tuts, and we are on the Tut Patrol. There's a little bit of J. This is a little bit of J off. A little bit of J off. Shout out Davis Arini. We had some good episodes. I think we've done 3 or 4. 3 or 4. I think 3 or 4. I did text Mars earlier. I am the monkey with the Quantaloupe. We are on the Tut. It's not thought, it's Tut. And JF. Well, of course I'm going to shout out Boiler Room. Well, yeah. It's not that I'm forgetting. I'm just I'm going like time span up. So, Boiler Room. Hesher, definitely shout out. How many Boiler Rooms have we done? 170? Holy crap, dude. Like almost. And I was on most of the Boiler Rooms. I was there from the beginning. But I haven't been on every Boiler Room. But they're troopers, dude. They built that show up. That's good. That's good stuff. Almost 100. That's around 170. Somebody please clip that. Clip that. T-Clips clip me. That was cool. It was the Roosh prank, which is pretty funny. We're just having fun with it. Just having fun. Ain't nobody hating nobody. Everybody having fun. So if JF has a debate with somebody and they have a higher IQ, does he just surrender immediately? I don't know, because I've only seen... I think I watched 2 or 3 JF debates before we had our debate. So I don't know how that roll. I don't know how they roll. But anyway... Thank you, Boiler Room. Now, if I don't think of everybody, they're going to get mad. So I can't think of everybody. So I'm not trying to piss anybody off. We're just having fun. And you forget, off the top of your head, you forget stuff. My first interview I did was with Jim Mars. So I have to say thank you, Jim Mars, to the classic conspiracy writer. And rest in peace, Jim Mars. We pray for the repose of your soul, Jim Mars. What do I think about the Bible as Literature podcast with Father Paul Tarazzi? I've never heard of it. So, thank you, Christopher Shaw, for $9.99. I don't know. I mean, off the top of my head, it sounds like I'm not going to like it, but I don't know. So... But thank you for the recommendation. I mean, I'm not saying you can't talk about the literary aspect of the scriptures. Obviously, you can't. But I don't know about that guy's podcast. Is he a Roman Catholic, and probably sounds like a Novus Ordo. Is he Orthodox? Does he claim to be Orthodox? Who is Father Paul Tarasi? Let's see. What's another goofy rap song? Let's do It's Me, Snitches. Instrumental. Always like this one. Swizz Beats. It's me, Snitches. All of these are shitty quality. Anyway. What's up, Anthony Westcott? The leftist intellectual called me fallow logocentric, but I love the pussy and then wait. Woo! Getting rated R up in here. Yeah, I mean, that's actually a badge of honor to be called fallow logocentric. I'll take that. Word. It's me, Snitches. But Mary Crow, am I ever going to talk to... every now and then I'll read a chat question that's not a super chat. The long ones with Chris. Chris decided to take a break from the internet. So he's been internet broken away from the internet for 8 months. I don't know, somewhere like that. And John has taken a break. Oh, yeah. Obviously, got to say thanks to Chris and John. Good buddies over at Hoaxbusters. They've kind of gone on hiatus. But definitely had some great Hoaxbusters shows. A lot of fun with those guys. A lot of fun. But... tonight is shout out night. I guess I should look up some of the... No, I can't do that. Everything's disorganized. The internet makes everything disorganized, but... I've quit using Twitter and my life improved immensely. I'll tell you one thing that improved my life. So before I started doing this stuff full time, naturally you spend a lot of time on Facebook. Well, once I turned all of this into a business... and I basically had to not spend fun time on Facebook anymore. Basically, social media converted over into part of the business for me. And so that improved my life tremendously, believe it or not, because once I quit spending a lot of time arguing with people, I mean, every now and then I'll still get sort of looped into a debate. But, yeah, when you move away from that and refocus your energies, which I would recommend everybody do, refocus your energies from wasting that time that you do on Twitter and Facebook into something that at least is advantageous for you or profitable to you in some way. If it's you starting your own business, do it that way. If it's, cut out that time and go read your Bible or something, whatever. If you're a dude and you've never hit on girls, learn some game and go hit on some girls. That's part of what is one of the good aspects of Revenge of the Nerds is there is a game aspect to Revenge of the Nerds that is true. So we will talk about a little bit of that because that's fun as well. But I'm better than what? Uh-oh, we got a hater. We got a hater in the audience. Alchemist says, I am better than this. What are you mad about that I'm better than? We'll let Alchemist express his rage. What is my take on James Gunn? And you should go back on TRR soon. Thanks for the great content, man. Thank you, Smokey Bear, for 1488 Canadian. That translates into like $500 in the US, doesn't it? 1488 Canadian. That's like zillions of U.S. Federal Reserve notes. Alchemist, what? You're haters. You're a hater. What am I better than? Gabriel R. Let's have our Orwellian 2 minutes of hate, like Evan Schultz says. Exactly. I'm just having fun, bro. Guess what? We've been having fun since the first video I ever uploaded 9 years ago. So yeah, we're at 24,976 as Celestial Celica says. Celica. Tom Celica. Totally Orthodox Deep Language Scholars, Christopher Shada. Okay, so he does a podcast about the Bible as literature, but he's a deep language scholar, and he's that's interesting. I'll have to check it out. Gabriel R. Oh, go back on TRR. Yeah, actually, there was supposed to be a debate that we're setting up. I forgot about those. See, there's so much stuff going on, I can't keep up with it all. So there's going to be, I think, a debate with Jim Goad eventually about theism and whether you can make sense of the Bible at all. And I think Jim Goad wants to argue that the Old Testament and the New Testament contradict. You know, it's like Gnostic deity, Jesus or something. He didn't say that, but I'm saying that's kind of what I think his position is. Jesus is like the opposite of Moses or something like this. So there will be a debate, I think, with Jim Goad eventually about theism. There's that Jewish guy who debates, not Halsey, Duvid or something. Somebody wants to do a debate to set that up with him about whether Jesus fulfills the prophecies. So that would be a good debate. But it's not that these aren't going to happen. It's just that will probably be on the Ralph retort. By the way, Ralph asked if I would debate whether Jesus is the Messiah against the Duvid guy on his channel, and I said, yeah, sure, I guess. I don't see a problem with that, but that's going to be a long time away because I've got so much to do in the next 3 weeks. So hopefully we can get the book done. We can get other projects done, other things I'm working on, other irons in the fire finished. Where is Alchemist, our hater? Better than Orthodoxy, but become a Baptist and suffer the wrath of the Almighty. The Scripture is the God-breathed Theopneustos. Yeah, I know what Theopneustos means. Why do you believe in apostolic? Alchemist, are you being a troll? I hope you're trolling. Because if you're literally a Baptist alchemist, come on, dude. You're telling me to repent. You need to repent of your alchemy, Hermeticus. Get out of here, Harry Potter. Going to a Hogwarts Baptist Church. Harry Potter Baptist Church. Actually, that sounds like it could be real. We gotta get some music going in the background. Can't find. Now that sucks for this. I keep going back to still tipping. But anyway. Gabriel R, thank you, 999J. Society is being feminized and we're starting to see extreme reactions in the manosphere. Yes, MGTOW is awful. What a bunch of nonsense. Any church fathers who wrote about masculinity, try avoiding the extremes. Any other tips? Actually, Jerome, or try the Proverbs, bro. Read Proverbs and see what Solomon says about females, and then it's accurate, and it's not all negative. Proverbs 31 woman, or Proverbs 30 if you're using an Orthodox Study Bible. MGTOW is obviously an extreme. It's just the dialectical opposite of feminism. Both are retarded. And as we're going to see, you do need to learn some game. Game is taught actually in a lot of movies. I should write a book on game and movies. Because game is really just a reflection of nature. And nature exists, right? We're not evolutionary biologists, but there is such a thing as natural selection and adaptation that is true in the theistic worldview. And part of that involves selecting and finding a mate. And guess what? You want to be the alpha nerd. That's what we are here at Jay's Analysis. We're alpha nerds. And alpha nerd's a good place to be because you're not trapped in a lot of the weaknesses that we're going to see of the WASP frat boys in Revenge of the Nerds. Oh yeah, what was my take on James Gunn? Sorry, Smokey Bear. Yeah, I think that it sounds pretty gross. I don't know if that's necessarily proof right away of anything. Now, somebody said that there was, I think Mike Cernovich tweeted that there was something about a video that Gunn retweeted that was supposedly pedophilic. I don't know if that's accurate. I didn't track down. I just saw the Cernovich tweet. I didn't research to see if it was all true. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. But, I mean, if you're always talking about the most disgusting pedo stuff, and that guy had, like, endless tweets about pedo stuff, gross, dude. Ugh. So you can have 10,000 pedo tweets, and you are protected by the GOP mainstream conservatives defending these awful jokes and the Democrat cult. That's just weird, dude. These people are insane. It's an insane cult. So yeah, I mean, it looks pretty gross, but if Cernovich's claim is true, then I mean that just reflects the the kind of stuff that we see coming out of Hollywood. I mean, does it really seem surprising given the rest of the stuff we know about Hollywood? No. But oh, here we go. Denominations are man-made. Good one, dude. Did you hear that from Joel Osteen? Good one. I get my theology from Joel Osteen and TBN, dog. I went to the Holy Land Experience. I went to that Holy Land Experience, and I just knew that it was right next to Disney. And then when Goofy ran out there next to Peter and Paul and all the Bible characters right next to Disney at the Holy Land Experience, I just knew it was of the Lord. By the way, that's a real thing. Can you believe that there is a theme park next to Disney owned by TBN and Paul and Jan Crouch called the Holy Land Experience? I'm not even gonna talk about it. Just, if you don't know about it, yeah. Congrats on 25K. Thank you, D Kim. Is that Kim Jong Un? Kim Il. Kim licensed to Il Un. Kim Jong Il. Kim Jong Un. We are licensed to ill up in here. Mike John. Who? I did do a Westworld analysis. Yes. Kim Jong-un is definitely a Jay's Analysis subscriber, yeah. Do you know he's really into movies, by the way? Interesting. No surprise there, right? A bunch of Hollywood bullshit. So, yeah, somebody has been to Holy Land Experience. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. How many shekels would it take to get me and Robert Sepahur together? Robert Sepahku. I don't know who Robert Sepahur is. What's he do? Everybody always asks you to, like, I didn't even know who Worski was before they like, go on Andy Worski. I was like, who's that? So don't assume that I know all the. I like a lot of this stuff. Just count me as a boomer. Now, some people email me, and I don't have time to get to all the emails. So if you emailed me or if they have emailed me about going on one of these shows, I may have just missed the email or it went into the spam or something. I mean, have I thought of doing call-ins? That would be funny, but I feel like it would just be a bunch of trolls. You know what I mean? Or it would be like the same 3 dudes that call every time. So what's better than doing call-ins, which is a whole bunch of annoying work, is just to set that all aside. It would be funny. It could potentially be funny. But is I do tutoring. So if you want to tutor in the subjects that I'm proficient and expert in, then we can set up tutoring. And you can see that at the Patreon, or you can set that up directly to me, or however is most convenient to you. And I do every week tutoring for multiple people every week. So if you want to discuss philosophy, theology, metaphysics, ontology, church history, biblical theology, theism, apologetics, atheism, pedagogy. That reminds me, I forgot to make somebody's pedagogy list. But anyway, yeah, I tutor on all that pretty regularly. So the classics, if you want to talk about that, hit me up. College level, graduate level education for free. Almost free. But reasonably priced. About what you pay for a regular tutor to nerd it up. Nerd it up with you. I can nerd it up with you, girl. Nerd it up one-on-one. Just pay me my shekels and I'll nerd it up. Girl, pay me shekels and I'll nerd it up with you. Jay, are you going to be doing the philosophy analysis project on your private site for subscribers? Philosophy analysis project. What is that? You mean like instead of globalist books series, do philosophy analysis project and like do... I started trying to go through philosophy, and there's quite a bit. I mean, we've done Hegel, Aquinas, Kant, Hume. I think there's one on Hume and empiricism. Plato. We've done a bunch of Plato. We did Aristotle, one talk at least. We did the Logos, Logoi, Maximus Confessor. We've done some church fathers. So there's a good bit of philosophy we've done. But the problem is that when I do philosophy videos, people don't watch those. I mean, some people watch them, and I like doing it, but it's like, you know, I can't, if I devote every day to making videos that I know only 1,000 people are going to watch, like that's not the most effective means of doing things. So what works better is to maybe tie Aquinas, Hegel, and Kant together in a talk, and then you watch that talk. But if I just do like an hour-long talk on Hegel, that's probably going to get 1,000 views. I probably will still do that, by the way. So I'm not saying that I won't do that. I probably will. If you continue to follow and subscribe to Jay's Analysis, you'll probably see that. But, you know, it's just other projects that are more pressing and more useful to the site. You know, that kind of will have to take precedent over something that, I mean, even other subscribers, I mean, how many people who subscribe are going to sit through an hour lecture of gobbledygook from Hegel? Now, there is some good stuff in Hegel, by the way. I'm not being, we're just talking here. We're just talking. But philosophy, I mean, that's kind of what Jay's Analysis started doing, was the philosophy analysis series. And that hasn't really ended. It's just that we shifted into, you know, tragedy and hope, because more people found that to be more, you know, relevant. Not many people care about Plato. I mean, you need to know Plato if you want to be intelligent, and that's why there's all the Plato lectures there, but most people don't. Like, if you start talking about Plato, you have immediately put yourself into a niche of like 2% of the population, right? I mean, so anyway, yes, there will be many more philosophical talks to come. Don't worry. But other things kind of have to come first, like finishing the book. So Anthony Westcott, $5. Serious question. Can a dead person contact a living person, or would God do so on their behalf? Also, would you talk to Jonathan Pageau? Can a dead person contact a living person? I mean, normatively, no. The bridge between the living and the dead is, in one sense, pretty stable. But then again, we also believe in the communion of the saints, so there's a real participation of the church on earth with the church in heaven. And you can see this by our teaching on the liturgy and how we do participate in the heavenly worship. According to John's book, The Apocalypse, the saints in heaven are worshiping with the saints on earth. That's what the liturgy is. So, in a way, yes, they contact us by participating in the same liturgy. But if you mean like appearing at night, like John Brown or who's that psychic? John, what's his name? Or Sylvia Brown or whatever. And like the dog psychic's gonna, Spot is in a beautiful place, and he wants me to tell you that he misses the way that you would pick the fleas off of his snout and rear. And Spot loves you very much, and I am an animal psychic. If that's what you mean, that kind of speaking across the nether world, I don't think so. Although in 1 Samuel 21 and 31, the witch of Endor does call up the spirit of Samuel, who then rebukes Saul. So it is apparently possible, I would say, to contact the dead. There's other texts in Scripture that mention it and forbid it, because you're not really always interacting with the dead, but with the demonic. So would I talk to Jonathan Pageau? We discussed doing a podcast a couple times. I've done some critiques of people that he is a big fan of. So I don't know if that kind of turned him off or what, but the last thing we talked about was maybe doing Warski, and then I ended up, not doing Warski anymore. So that we just kind of quit talking about that kind of stuff. But, I don't think it's off the table of talking to Jonathan Pageau. It's just one of those things where sometimes when you do this, you talk to somebody and you say, hey, let's do a podcast. And then you both are like, yeah. And then it just kind of like you forget about it. So, maybe I need to recontact him. He may find my stuff too distasteful. I don't know. So, we did talk about the possibility of it. So, maybe. John the Savage, $5. What do I think of the lunisolar calendar? As in the lunar versus solar calendar? I'm not sure what the Luni, Luni calendar is. That I guess that's what you mean, but I don't really have a position on that. I mean the Old Testament, the feasts are lunar. We live not in that period, that administration any longer. So we're not under the Mosaic administration of how the calendar works. I'm not going to go into all the specifics of the Orthodox calendar issues, but suffice to say, we're under the solar calendar, I guess, because of, the Roman Imperium, right? I mean, the church is intimately tied into the first 1,000 years of the Orthodox Imperium. So, Eric Jules, $10. Any thoughts on the anniversary murder of the Romanovs? I saw an article saying that there were billboards in Russia that said, forgive us, your majesty. Like a picture of the czars, and it said, forgive us, your majesty. Like, forgive us for abandoning the Orthodox Imperium. Russian Orthodox Church says it was a Jewish ritual murder. I would say that if you listen to the Richard Spence interview, Dr. Richard Spence interview on Wall Street and the Bolsheviks, Dr. Spence has written kind of an addendum to Anthony Sutton's book, and that's out, and he's traced a lot of history that Sutton didn't get to or wasn't available to Sutton when he wrote his book. So I think I have it. It's around here somewhere. But anyway, that is a new documents. New light has been shed on the Romanovs and all that. But the general thesis, I would say, there does seem to at least be an element amongst some of the Bolshevik leaders to do this as a ritual murder for pogroms, I suppose, right? The claim has been that there were like Kabbalistic talisman symbols written. I don't know if that's verified. So I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying I don't know if that's verified. I've seen that claim. But I haven't been to Russia. I haven't verified that. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there was obviously a Zionist contingent amongst Bolsheviks. So, and of course there was obviously enmity between Bolsheviks and Orthodox Christianity, obviously. I would just say read Solzhenitsyn. Eric Joel says, do the voice of Jordan Peterson. Read Solzhenitsyn. He talks about collectivism. But anyway. What's the song called with the trumpets? I think it's called Rocco. It's a instrumental. Rocco Uoeno. It just played on Random Play, so I didn't even know. Came on after Mike Jones. If you mean this is Mike Jones still tipping. Anyway, there was another. Did I get to all this? Did I miss anybody's super chat here? I think I got them all. So let's talk about Revenge of the Nerds. I mean, it's not obviously like the greatest esoteric film of all time, obviously. Oh, I know. I should play the Revenge of the Nerds song. That song they do that's like a Devo. It's very bizarre. The talent show. Yeah. Let's see if this works. It'll be slow, but. So, Revenge of the Nerds. Let's get to that. If I left anybody else out in the shout-outs, forgive me. Please forgive me. It's not that this is the greatest esoteric film of all time. It's just that it's fun, and there was some interesting elements to this I didn't pick up. You know, when I watched this as like a kid, right? You know, when you're in the 80s. Booger on guitar as Elvis. Anyway. But you also realize that it's like a statement on, and yes, it does have, unfortunately, some left social justice tint to it. But you've got like the WASP element, the class society. You've got even reference to the secret society structure, the skull and bones type stuff, with the alpha betas and their initiation rituals. It's like straight up skull and bones. So this was filmed, I think, if I recall, at one of the universities, like Arizona State University, and I read a funny thing about it where Carradine, the main nerd, Lewis, he said that it was great because when they were at the university to film, he says on set they were these nerds. He said, but because they were filming a movie, when they were offset, like the panties were dropping and women were just throwing themselves at the nerds, which I thought was pretty funny. But it was filmed at like Arizona University. Let's see where it was. Yeah, University of Arizona. And the Alpha Betas. Now, what's funny is that the name of the fraternity, the Alpha Betas, is the WASP jocks. And what happens is that they actually end up not being WASP jocks. they end up losing to the nerds, who are the alpha betas, right? So amongst the betas, they're the alphas. But the alpha betas are named because they're alphas who are also beta. I thought that was really funny, and I never got that until I watched it. And once you realize that the ugly girls, they're omega mu, like moo, like cows. I thought that was actually fairly clever. So all of the names have these little plays on what they reference, little puns and whatnot, which I thought was kind of clever. I don't want to hear this song again. We got to find a new song. I can't keep playing that. I'm a hustler. What's this? Let's see what this is. So the nerds, oust the wasps. And you'll notice that the dean of the school, I think he's supposed to be the Jewish guy. And he obviously sides with the nerds. And then you also have the black guys. And there's a council of the Greeks, the secret societies, that run the whole thing and make the decisions. Now, in the plot, or in the cinematography and the narrative, there are multiple times where America's referenced, not just in a generic way, but they're actually they talk about the moon mission, they talk about Apollo, they talk about America's technology, all this kind of stuff. And so I think that we have a microcosm of America here. And the class structure, the society structure, you've got the black mafia, you've got the Jewish dean of the school, you've got the nerds, the betas, you've got the alphas, the jocks, the wasps, right? Elite. And in the end, the Jewish dean with the jocks, with the black guys and the nerds, they team up to oust the honkies, the wasp honkies, not all the honkies. Now, to be fair to the nerds, and Jay's analysis nerds are not Revenge of the Nerds, although some of us might be, I don't know. But to be fair to the nerds, these aren't typical nerds because they actually kind of have balls. They're not complete betas. In fact, they hit on women immediately when they get to college. They don't have actually have some game, believe it or not. And if you remember, Lewis walks directly up to the hottest of the cheerleaders and hits on her right away, like the queen of college. And she laughs, but it's like, wow, he's actually got balls. And this is kind of foreshadowing because eventually Lewis wins her over because, I mean, let's be fair. Lewis is fairly fearless. So the nerds actually kind of have a little bit of game and they kind of have balls. They're also a little edgy in the sense that they smoke weed, which is weird because they have to throw their party and they're passing around giant blunts and they're getting laid, which is funny, but not typically what we think of nerds doing. So I don't know, the nerds in this movie are a little beyond incel. So they kind of come into their own. At the beginning, you think maybe they're incel because, oh crap, who's the guy who, is it Anthony, not Anthony Edwards, who's the guy who's in Top Gun? Who's the other nerd? Gilbert, what's his name? I'm going blank, but let me see. So Robert Carradine is obviously the main dude. Curtis Armstrong is who's his BFF in Top Gun? Is it Anthony Edwards? Yeah, that's it. So Anthony Edwards, who is, I can't remember my Top Gun people. It's like Quentin Tarantino says Top Gun is gay as fuck. It's fucking gay. If you listen to what Quentin Tarantino does, he talks about Top Gun. It's actually very funny. That was kind of, I do a better Quentin Tarantino. That was kind of weak, but Anthony Edwards. He hits on girls too. Like, he does this computer room game where he hits on Judy and does well. Anyway, point being, the nerds have balls, which is interesting. But they oust the blonde wasps. The other weird thing about this movie is it was somehow able to secure. It was actually a low budget film, but it was hugely successful, and it was able to secure quite a few big name music samples, like Michael Jackson's "Beat It," Talking Heads, "Burning Down the House." There's some really big '80s, singles in this, but they're not on the soundtrack, which is funny because usually when a song is in a movie. But so the original soundtrack is all the goofy, cheeseball stuff. None of the big, mega hits are actually on the soundtrack, but they're in the movie and they fit the movie. Like "Burning Down the House," when the wasps burn down their frat house. By the way, Jay's analysis has surpassed David Byrne. David Byrne has 23,000 subscribers. Jay's analysis on YouTube hitting 25. So we're burning down the house. I'm just kidding, by the way. Counting numbers doesn't matter as we count our numbers. There's a young, thin John Goodman. Believe it or not, John Goodman is thin and young in this, and it's hard, you almost don't recognize him, but there he is as incel Anthony, afraid to leave the house, yet within the span of a couple days he is no longer incel. He's macking on chicks, and it's funny because there's the funniest scene in the movie. One of the funniest is when they're in the car driving to college, and they tabulate how many boobs there will be at college because they're doing math, right? They're nerds. So they tabulate that based on the number of students and the number of girls, there will be 7,107 boobs, 32 boobs. And the dad says, "All you guys care about is getting laid, huh?" And that is a funny scene. That cracked me up. I have to admit, that is pretty damn funny. But that's probably the funniest scene. Anyway, what else we got here? Oh, I did have an image I wanted to show you of the Masonic Skull and Bones style secret society meeting. Got to make this brighter, it's too dark. It says, now I know that they're trying to scare the nerds. That's part of the joke, part of the gag. Still kind of weird though. I mean, it is still very Skull and Bones, right? So again, America in miniature here. We're not being too literal in there. This is a loose, fun analysis. Now, yeah, those dudes are Chad. They are the Chads in the film, but they're the beta Chads. You see, sometimes an alpha can quickly be destroyed by a woman, and this is something that like if you're a jock in high school, a lot of the jocks end up just petering out because they had it easy and they got locked down by a bitch wife early on. And Sam Hyde was making this point in an interview where he was talking about alpha betas. That cracked me up. It's the Sam Hyde interview, whatever that one. He's been on one podcast. I forget the name of the podcast, but it's pretty funny. Listen to that, and Sam Hyde makes this point about being alpha beta. And one thing I'll say too about the so-called alphas, they're actually weak. That's what's interesting. So they perceive that might makes right, and that really is fitting for this sort of secret society, skull and bones type network that runs things. They're not committed to anything. And what's interesting about the nerds, even though, yes, they're kind of a social justice thing, at least nerds are committed to something, right? They do understand that there's reason, right? There are objective principles that build computers, and you need more than just might makes right, right? So you can't just have a Nietzschean thing. You've also got to have standards and principles. And you're not the Ubermensch, by the way, right? The only person who thinks they're the Ubermensch and acts like they're the Ubermensch online is a guy who's not the Ubermensch, right? Same as guys who talk all day about having game online, right? But they don't have game. If you had game, you wouldn't be talking online about having game. You would be with your hoes. So, then, of course, gay black guy, have to throw him in there. Lamar. And there is another funny scene with the javelin, which I think is the funniest line in the film. It is, I wrote it down. It's kind of dirty. Now I can't find the funniest line. Anyway, the funniest line in the film is what Gilbert says about Lamar throwing the javelin. So I won't repeat it here because it's dirty. But also, yeah, I mean, somebody in the chat said the nerds and their revenge is like the beta resentment fantasy. It kind of is. You're right. I'll grant you that. I'll grant you that there is that element of weak fantasy getting revenge on jocks who pissed on you or tortured you. But while I agree with that surface analysis, that's true. If we read a little bit more into it, we can also see that there's a critique of society here, especially with all the Apollo references, the America references, the social order references, the secret society, the Greek council that runs everything, i.e. Freemasonry. I mean, we got to give the nerds credit for, they're willing to break into the sororities and, try to get a glimpse of nude women after having gotten laid at their party. That's pretty ballsy. Like they're ballsy. I'm not saying that what they're doing is good. I'm just saying that they're not typical nerds. That's what's interesting here. Lewis impersonates, what's her name? The preppy, the wasp dude. He impersonates the wasp dude and makes love to the wasp dude's girlfriend, which is pretty wild. And then she falls in love with Lewis. Now, you shouldn't do that. Don't wear Darth Vader costumes and sleep with people. But that's pretty ballsy. Lewis is arguably the Ubermensch. Like, he doesn't care. Like, Lewis is has no qualms about doing anything. And that's pretty edgy, not typical of a beta. So then, of course, we have the end where they put on their Devo-style new wave performance, which is strange. Another thing, too, nerds are oftentimes afraid of crowds. So we have to give them some credit, too, for putting on a giant performance to try to beat the alpha betas. Most of the time, nerds don't want to get up in front of a giant crowd. In fact, most people have a fear of being in front of a giant crowd. So having been in front of crowds many times, there is a initial fear that you do get over, and then after you get over it, you don't care. It's like anything else. It's like, why was I even afraid of that? You know what I mean? It's like when you ride a bike as a kid, you think, oh, I'm worried about this. Then you do it, and it's like, so what? So many people have a mortal fear of being in front of a crowd and doing bad. I've done stand-up many times before crowds, and I've done bad sometimes. So, you're going to have bad nights sometimes. That's going to happen to anybody. But even the night that you bomb, it's still fun. Like, who cares, right? Same as approaching a woman, asking her out, flirting. If you're a guy, that's an activity that is purely masculine. And yes, you're going to get turned down. You're going to get dissed. But that's part of it. You got to get over that fear. You got to be fearless. And so what if you get dissed? Who cares? Most people can't even cold approach, right? So if you get dissed, so what? That's a fear you have to overcome. It's like the Gom Jabbar. Put your hand in the Gom Jabbar. And show that old witch what's up. So, so it ends with this, the nerds win. And now obviously that's over the top. Guys, come on. Right? The wasps are out. And there's also another little play on words that I thought was interesting that's American and pragmatic and Nietzschean is atoms. The university is called Atoms University. But there's also banners everywhere that the nerds use called Atoms, ATOMS. And then I thought, well, what's the point? Well, atoms are, of course, units of physical matter, supposedly, bashing into one another. And that's what is the plot, right? It's evolutionary process, alphas and betas. In dialectical tension, that's evolutionary process, right? Natural selection, supposedly. And so in a way, the film is portraying a natural dialectic in these natural forces mirrored in the social order. That's it. So once I noticed that, I was like, damn, that's actually pretty clever for this goofy movie. That's what atoms do, right? They smash into one another, energy exchange. So that aspect of it is interesting. And it's also fun because there's quite a bit that's not PC in this film. You can still enjoy the non-PC era of 80s movies, which all of these are now being remade with SJWs and trannies everywhere. So, like, they're going to remake Heathers with trans people. Not that I'm like a huge Heathers fan. I'm just saying that, it's a fun 80s movie. Kind of dark, but I think they're going to like remake everything from the 80s. They're just going to remake everything. And now Predator is going to be a woman in the news today. Anyway. So that was fun. That was a fun nerds analysis. Getting pretty late here. You guys have fun tonight? Any more super chats before we call it a night? Thank you all. 25,000 subs, or almost. By the time we finish this, it'll be, and get this uploaded, it'll be 25K. So, a little bit of early celebration here, premature celebration. Thank you all. We're at 24,982. We're almost there. Thank you, Jen. Thank you all. Thank you all, you super chatters. Appreciate that tonight. That was sweet. Sweet like candy cane cocaine. I'm going to do a rap song. It's going to be called Candy Cane Cocaine. And then Cocaine Candy Cane. Don't ever sell out. You're welcome. Thank you, dudes and girls. All you Jay's Analysis alpha nerds. Stay orthodox. Eric Jewell, John Savage, Anthony Westcott, Chris Shada, Gabriel R., Smokey Bear, Daniel Sulea, Evan Schultz, Quantum Kitten, Lamdoc Mugwort, John Gorras. Great night. Thank you all. Mike Jones. Thank you, Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Thank you. Thank you, Mike Jones. Anyway, good night, y'all. God bless.